interesting to see and watch her for her debut against that. And then second of all, EKC here. This is a must-win for them. EKC's playoffs runs are looking very live right now. They're looking very good. But the world in which EKC loses to Lob City is the one world where they just are out. They are out without, I believe, any chance of a tiebreaker, unless I'm incorrect. But so this is a must-win for EKC here, and of course, Lob City not the greatest record right now in the North American Strikers League. So it's definitely a possibility that EKC can come out and beat them today. But there is going to be a little bit of pressure on them coming to this game here.
Lob City definitely has the potential to cause a lot of chaos in this playoff race, but first they got to get past this game where we're already getting into it. It's on Night Market with Castellast and Orb Dancer, so a lot of movement shenanigans there, and with this era pickup, that's going to be a lot of speed as well to contest those speed gates and those Orb Dancer starts. But that said, well, it is Aylalira's first appearance. They're a player who I know can perform at a level that is acceptable for this, so I have no doubts that they will be able to perform just as they need to on this team. However, that said, it's a bit of a rough start as both barriers are down, but it is just the first round. We'll have to see how the rest plays out.
Yeah, for sure. And right now we see an open net for the side of Lob City as Soren right now using the Finny abilities proactively to make sure that Leon doesn't get that dash punch going, as the defense right now is looking very, very good for EKC, and missed Whiplash means that Cardbox now has the opportunity to march the core forward, but a good strike or win by Kilius, and Leon will keep the offensive play going right now. Big Finish doesn't find anything right as well, and the Flame Flurry unfortunately doesn't find any offensive pressure as well. NXCD looks for a kill, not able to find it, but does get some important stagger on Leon. The flip from NXCD though, it's going to finish out the point on the other side of the map before any KOs could be found. First point for EKC.
Yeah, the point blank flip in the net is always a bit difficult to deal with regardless of the character, unless you're someone like Atlas who can just put up a huge wall and say no. But that said, both barriers are down once more, but I feel like we've been seeing a lot of Finny today, as well as a lot of Drakkar, but with this Finny on the screen, there's a lot of damage coming out, so much that the goalie dies and the point goes in. These are some quick points, but I don't think this is necessarily due to Aylalira's skill. I think this is just more so that this team is playing so well together and causing so much pressure and havoc in the enemy half that it's just not giving them any time to breathe and adjust, so they've really got to pick up the pace here, and hopefully they'll be able to do just that.
Yeah, I agree, and another substitute that is in this game is Cardbox subbing in for Katsuna. I believe they have had an NASL game before, so this isn't their debut per se, but also generally a fresh face to the league, as right now they are looking very, very good here on the IME, playing this Fightbreakers comp that we just saw last call pull out versus Boza Bunch to get them their win. So definitely something that's very, very strong right now, and you mentioned it earlier, but this Finny pick is looking incredibly strong, able to provide basically everything a goalie needs, both defense, offense, and even that damage pressure in a lot of situations, despite that being nerfed a little bit in kind of the big buff that recently hit Finny. So right now, though, it looks like NXCD is going to be on the receiving end of damage, but it's going to be Kilius sniped away by the cyber swipe from Cardbox. Cardbox now looking for a 1v2 offensive play here, isn't able to find it against the core flip of Aylalira. Soren now looking to get a core flip in, but Leon's going to respond with one of his own, able to get a reverse power play barrier here. NXC, though, with the special, able to snipe away that final barrier with the help of Soren here. It's Kilius now looking to dribble, but unfortunately it's going to be sniped away by Cardbox. The glitch pop, sending the red core right into the net. Aylalira not able to react, and that's going to be a quick first set here for EKC now coming in. Cardbox earning his MVP, and now has a little bit of a choice here. The Catalyst, Rapid Fire, Stinger, all very good picks on this IME here.
Definitely big potential within this draft. That Catalyst can be picked up pretty quickly, very strong awakening even after the changes. But this bulk up, I think, is going to allow the Juliette to really just get along with what they want to do, because on this map there's sort of the joke that they just sit on the speed gate till they can get a dash punch kill or dash punch goal. But realistically, between the Orb Dancer giving them the extra speed as well, that extra power is going to give them the little bit of push that they need to secure some of these kills with those pummelers, as well as get that power play going for their team. But that said, we see the Monumentalist come out for the Finny, and we saw previously how strong that awakening can be on that character. Granted, that was on Demon Dais, a little bit of a different setup for the Finny goalie, but even here, still able to walk up. Soren is causing so much pressure, just not really giving any space for the enemy team. They clear it out, but it's right back in. That's it. Leon's going to have to make something happen here, but they're just picking up some orbs, getting back into the mix with that speed, using that speed gate to get things going. But I think this draft overall wasn't particularly game breaking. It's not like we saw something like a Monumentalist now get picked up, but at the same time, there's definitely still some good pickups here. Aylalira getting that team player to help get the core out just like that, giving that extra speed, getting it out of their half a little bit easier. Not quite a hot shot on the Rasmus, but still quite good. And then we still have some stagger going to NXZD, allowing them to survive just a little bit longer when you have to play against this Rasmus goalie. There's a lot of times where they just want to clear it through you, and you take a good bit of chip damage just trying to get it out. But here, with this flip available, it looks like they're going to be taking no damage, just a barrier.
Yeah, right now, open net now for the side of Lob City. Aylalira has a lot of dodge to work with, so not too worried about the damage pressure. The flip from Leo Leon's unfortunately not going to find anything right here. NXCD now marching core at field. Cardbox, an unfortunate whiff, now gives up that offensive play, but NXCD is not going to be the one finding it in the red core. Coming out from Aylalira, and Leo Leon is able to steal away that point pretty much instantly. Unfortunately, a little bit of an offensive blunder here from EKC allow Lob City to grab the first point of the set here. And I do want to talk about that draft a little bit more. I think a really interesting choice that Kilius made was picking up the rapid fire over the Monumentalist. Monumentalist, like you mentioned, of course, not now levels of game breaking, but incredibly strong on the Finny goalie, even though we aren't on Demon Dais. But rapid fire, of course, kind of one of the king awakenings on the era, of course, of being so strong in so many situations, where just getting more of it allows you to do so much in a lot of different situations. But right now, Kilius is going to need all the cooldowns he can get in order to defend here against this offensive play of Lob City. Power play now for NXZD and Cardbox. The beam is going to help assist a little bit versus the offensive NXZD, but we see the Monumentalist Finny here so hard to defend against, but it is going to be done by Aylalira and Kilius. Now the pull comes out to get a nice clear away from Cardbox and NXCD. See a NATO charging up, almost able to snipe away Cardbox, but nothing found so far. Leo Leon with a dash punch, not able to find it, and now the offensive play for Lob City is likely going to die with that missed dash punch. Now Cardbox with the flip, an unfortunate glitch pop gives away possession. Monumentalist Finny is going to be down, nothing found just quite yet. Aylalira with a clear up topside towards Kilius. Kilius now trying to march the core upfield, able to win against Cardbox. A dash punch comes out from Leo Leon now. We're in a power play situation. Leo Leon just needs to win the interaction, but Soren does have core flip, but it's not even needed. NXCD winning the midfield interaction against Kilius, but it's going to be stopped by Leo Leon, instantly taking away the core flip from Soren. Not going to be enough in that situation. Lob City now find themselves up 2-0 here on the set after a first set loss.
Yeah, a bit of a new rendition on the Soren angle there, but regardless, we're on to the next point, and there we see some on this offense and the defense. We see the back passes from Kilius there. I like that. I know you're a big fan of the back passes yourself, but one thing is these barriers just are not being held up, and there's so much pressure in the net between the Monumentalist, the Firewall Sentry, and NXZD just being the brawler that gets it done. But with them having low energy, maybe it's time to start targeting them with a dash punch kill, especially with that flip available. That's going to be a lot of extra knockback that you have as a tool for yourself to use. There, we see a good chunk of damage go out, and even with the flip a little bit more, but it's still not quite enough. Oh. This time, though, they've kept their barriers, but they've lost their goalie. Not quite the exchange that you want, as one tends to follow suit of the other. But Leo Leon has to be careful here on the defense because they are low.
Yeah, open net again for Lob City here. The dash punch not going to find the KO against NXCD, but right now Aylalira is back, able to get the core past Cardbox one more time, able to do it again against the turret. The Centauro special, not able to find anything just quite. Leo Leon here with the speed, not able to get the core past Soren right now. Is Cardbox now assisting in the clear, trying to win a strike war against Kilius, but nothing's going to be found right now. The Monumentalist Finny, though, is back. The flip is there. But unfortunately, I think the ultimate is actually going to hurt a little bit, removing some of that core speed that was needed to get that clear going. Dash punch not able to find anything so far, as Aylalira walking a little bit forward to help the offensive pressure here. Leo Leon not able to provide too much as he is staggered, and there he goes. Now another 10 seconds in the penalty box. Cardbox able to win the interaction against Aylalira. No pull to save the core that time. Now we see reverse sweep on the set coming out from Lob City here. Or sorry, from EKC.
And I believe this is the second time today we've actually seen the Bite Breakers comp all together. I know it doesn't really say too much about the gameplay, but it is just a funny thing to point out. But that's it. These barriers are certainly holding up a little bit longer this time, so that should be a good sign of adaptation. But NXZD can't seem to hold on to their health, as they're holding on to this core flip to make a play happen. but with so much pressure coming out to them, it's going to be really tough for them to use it in sort of a meaningful way on the offense. It feels like they're going to have to use it to help on the defense here, just to keep things alive. But even with that being the case, Cardbox is a player who, if you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. Even though they are the midfielder, they can certainly score and take barriers when they need to. But that said, Kiliast almost gets scored as a kill, but they do manage to stick alive here as this barrier goes down.
Yeah, right there. The final redirect from the Aimi turret was enough to open up the net here for Lob City. Kiliast looking staggered. Might have to play for his life very, very soon, but an excellent dash punch from Leo Leon now is going to give a power play for Lob City here in point number 5 of the set. The Flame Flurry comes out to get the final barrier. Aylalira receiving a pass. Soren with a flip is there. It needs to be defended. It is, but the flip, oh, the hook almost scores an own goal, but we still have the core in play. Glitch Pop not going to find anything. The core is just desperately trying to get to Leo Leon here. NXCD with the slice, not able to find the goal. Now the beam is there. Leo Leon's big, but he's low on health. Aylalira needs to hold this in the situation that she does. Leo Leon with one more opportunity to take the shot, but it's going to be whiffed. Wins a strike war against Cardbox, but again, it's not going to be enough. The big finish there does clear the core out, and now it's going to be defense for Lob City. Yet again, Kiliast now gone in this power play. NXCD wins the strike war, and that's going to be Lob City fulfilling the reverse sweep here on this set. Unfortunately, or sorry, it's going to be EKC filling out the final reverse sweep here. NXCD earning a well-earned MVP for his performance, and he has a few picks from this draft to look at.
NXCD, I've been a big fan of them since that one Juliette performance they had earlier in NASL, but here they're getting the 1-2 punch, denying it from said Juliette. Going to get that Orb Ponder here, double Orb stacks. I like that that's going to give them a lot of pressure. And this glass cannon is going to be rough, though, because Soren, already a character that does a lot of damage and can play from very far away and has the speed to get where they need to go. So that's going to give them a ton of pressure, especially onto someone like Leo Leon, who, once they have those orb stacks, you need to get rid of them ASAP. But Aylalira getting some pendulum swing action, good for the defense. And Kiliast picking up quick strikes here, a good pickup for the midfield, especially one that has to take a ton of strike wars like Era. But there we see a kill come out, I believe, to the Maelstrom. Gonna have to be wary of those, as now they don't have the Monumentalist. Like you mentioned earlier, they picked up that rapid fire, and it's been doing good work for them. But with kills like that coming out regardless, perhaps they just didn't need it. The only other thing I really want to bring a big note to here is Cardbox has had some amazing glitch pop snipes, and now with that missile propulsion, they're going to be even better, and you have to be even more careful about them regardless of where they are on the screen. That said, Aylalira here looking a little bit low, and there's that glitch pop we were just talking about that could have been deadly, but the only thing dead is this barrier to that fireball sentry.
Yeah, and now NXCD able to get that. Not much effort left, actually, to get that goal. Cardbox with a good snipe into the top side. NXCD with that damage support. I think if that would have been cleared, we would have saw a death from Lob City, and just another goal. So, well played from EKC, even without Katsuna. Still staying true to their brand here as we get into kickoff for this next game right now. Leo Leon has a flip. That's going to be looking really good, especially if he could open up these barriers. But right now, it looks like it's evading him.
Definitely a little bit difficult here as Kiliast now. Kiliast has been on low health for it feels like a good portion of this game, but that is sort of the nature of this Bite Breakers comp where you have the damage amp from Finny, you have Aimi just able to influence the map from everywhere, and Zentaro just being Zentaro, a brawler that can definitely pump out a ton of damage and has a lot of ways to keep you staggered. That said, though, the barriers are not falling down for either side here as that dash punch attempt goes out, but a good Oni's Blade from NXCD saves them from potential death there. But Kiliast playing real close to the sidelines. We've seen them die a couple times off the side, but they're still confident in their ability to stay exactly where they need to. But that tornado was almost the exact opposite of where it needed to be as it almost owned gold, but the net is now open to a couple of strike wars, and Cardbox has this flip available.
Yeah, and Aylalira needs to survive here. Not only does she have the goal to defend, she has her orb count to defend as well, but that's not going to happen. The flip from Cardbox is just going to send her right in after getting a quick KO with a cyber swipe. Such an unfortunate position now for Lob City to be in. EKC now looking so good. NXCD with Orbs of Zone. The only thing that could probably save Lob City right now is the 5 orb, double orb count here from Leo Leon, but with a missed dash punch, things are going to be looking really grim especially if Lob City cannot hold for the next few seconds, as again, unfortunately, a pass to Aylalira is going to be an unfortunate own barrier here.
Definitely difficult, but even with that dash punch not getting a confirmed kill, it is going to put damage and force NXZD out of the play for just a little bit there. So hopefully that's going to give them the time now that they are back to find a new answer to this defense. Leon almost finding another kill there, but then again, just a bit short of that 1-2 punch deny, showing why it was so good to take there. But it's also giving a ton of damages. Now, the era is down. Leon is next. Aylalira has to defend by themselves against a flip. It's tough, Brickbat.
Yeah, and it's just looking so doomed for Lob City right now. Leon with his orbs gone, even if he did get the respawn, even if the miraculous save was made, the win condition was lost, and that's just going to be done and dusted. Game 1. Going to EKC, the Bite Breakers comp, looking to take a tear through the North American Strikers League today, and I think that felt like a very quick win for the side of EKC, bringing their A game for a must-win series, of course. So we're going to load into these stats here very soon. It looked like EKC played a very clean game, even without their Katsuna, even without their, Katsuna, their KO midfield, their card box played the role admirably. 6 KOs to his name, and especially on an orb start where those KOs mean a lot more, it just felt like that EKC was able to get the pace going and keep it going throughout the entire game, which led them to that 15-minute night market victory. So if that happens, it's going to be a quick 2-0 here on the day. But there were signs of life, I believe. 5 KOs from Leon, some good defensive plays from both Kilius and Aylalira. It felt like they had some semblance of defense going on in these games. So if they're able to kind of, continue their warm-up and go into game 2 strong, we could see them taking a game off of EKC, but it's going to be an uphill battle for sure.
Certainly going to be difficult, but these players are here for a reason. It is not a battle that they cannot win. That said, though, I feel like part of that may have been that Juliette is a character that requires a lot of goalie and midfield coordination to get the ball to them, and that coordination just wasn't quite there yet. And with there being a sub, that's somewhat reasonable, but at the same time, now that they've had a game to warm up, they're a bit more familiar with where each other want to stand, how they want to play. They understand these are our goals going into the next game, and on the next map of Demon Dais, that's a lot of damage that's going to be potentially there. EKC already showing that they know how to play damage quite well, especially with those picks like Finny. So we're going to have to see what gets picked up here to sort of contest that damage that we're seeing just so much of. But another thing we've seen a lot of today is Drakkar, so we might have to see if that gets picked up here. But for now, we just got to wait for the Awakening and the character draft. But that said, certainly an uphill battle for Lob City, but not one I don't think they can't do.
Yeah, absolutely. Completely in agreement there. I think we've just seen a really interesting day of composition so far in the North American Strikers League, and I'm really wondering if NXED and Leon have that same adaptation to just kind of pick the Drakkar and see what they could do with it. I'm not quite sure. I believe that Cardbox does have actually Drakkar themselves. So if they want to play it, that's potentially possible. NXED, kind of known as one of the brawlers that could fall back and play that IME if needed. So definitely something that they could pull out. Not entirely sure though. We do have to see that draft eventually do come out here. And honestly, I just kind of want to talk about this Bite Breakers composition a little bit. Zentaro pretty much universally strong, especially we saw across the pond in USL. I don't know if they still have that 100% Zentaro presence, but it's still pretty up there if that's not the case. A little less coveted here, but not by much in the North American Strikers League, has been pretty much a staple pick, a must-know for any single brawler that wants to play at this level. On top of that, Finny, I believe Finny is like 6-0 today in terms of game count. It's insane. It's a really strong pick. Especially, I think, now that I think about it a little bit, against the midfielder like Era, because in order to midfield against a Finny, you have to have something that hits the core multiple times in order to get it out of the big finish. Otherwise, there's very little counterplay a midfielder actually can have of having a big finish just placed right on top of them. Especially Era, who has literally no tools to knock out the core from that big finish. The beam's not going to be enough. The speed does nothing. The speed doesn't hit the core. And then Tornado, if anything, would be the only thing. But that's incredibly difficult. You're going to have to build that up over time and like predict that the big finish is going to come out. So in that situation, there were so many cases where Kilius, especially with a Juliette, was forced to play on his own to get it upfield, but you just can't do that. You're not allowed to do that against Soren, and that just made it. I think that's what gave us the stats that previous game, just rereading Leo Leon with 76 redirects compared to the second lowest of the game, Cardbox, with 116. So literally the second lowest in the game still had 50% more redirects than Leo Leon, and I just think that goes to show the matchup looks really, really bad for Era. It looks really, really bad for Era, so I think going into the next game, if you have to play around this Finny pick, you have to think of ways to counteract it, or you got to pick it yourself. It feels like this is a character that I said it, I called it a couple weeks ago. What's going to become a defining pick in the North American Strikers League? It felt like a pick that every goalie had to learn if they wanted to remain competitive in the league, and I feel like the future is happening right now. I feel like the future is definitely coming out, but. Again, we're going to go in a game. The Striker Draft has come out. Finny has been banned, taken away. Zentaro is going to be that first pickup, a very strong pick on the Catalyst start, but it's been answered by Aylalira's Rasmus and a Vice, especially on this prize fighter star. I'm not sure it'll be opted into by Kilius, but it's going to be very, very strong here, especially on Demon Dais.
Yeah, I like
Demon Dais. I'm going to get yelled at. I'm being yelled at by two people. I'm so sorry. Sorry.
I see EKC has picked up another double brawler comp. We have the Zentaro and the Juliette on the same team comp with the Aimi. My guess would have to be we're seeing another flavor of that Zentaro midfield that we saw earlier today and did not quite find the success they were looking for. Perhaps they will find it here today. That said, a bit of comfort pick here on the side of Lob City. We've got Aylalira on that Rasmus, a pretty good goalie on this map, especially with how you have to play around the barrier sometimes, as once it gets caught behind there, it can be pretty tough. So having a way to clear through players before it can get to that is really good. And then the Kazan pickup here. Is this the first time we've seen Kazan today? We heard about them in one of our poems earlier today. But as far as actually on the pitch, I believe this is the first one we have seen. And that character can be quite difficult to play against, especially when once you get behind the lock, now you have to deal with both them having the enlarged stab for their strike, and then also you have to deal with the hook and the top. There's just a lot of things that you have to deal with that once it gets caught back there, it is just so tough. But that said, we'll have to see if they can manage to make those things happen or whether this double brawler comp is just going to put out a ton of damage. But with a Catalyst start, a lot of energy as well to combat the damage that's going to be dealt to them. And while Prize Fighter is the other option, I feel like unless you are just hard steamrolling the enemy team, the extra energy from Catalyst is just going to be miles above whatever the little bit of power that the Prize Fighter is going to give you. So I think we're going to see a 6 Catalyst lobby here, and I think that's why we saw that X get banned, is because he's just one of the best Catalyst users in the game. But that said, we'll have to see if this energy gets used for core flips to take barriers, or if they're going to need it just to stay alive against that Vice, which that character got nerfed. Still does a lot of damage, turns out. So we'll have to see if they can survive here, but that said, we're just kind of waiting to get into the game, and they have queued it up, so here we go. Demon Dais, not Demon Dice, as we get into this game.
Demon Dais. Demon Dais. Demon Dais. We are loading in to Demon Dais as I saw NXD in chat saying the voices are my goalie. I'm like a little curious about what he means. I'm a little scared here seeing Juliette and Zentaro picked up. I'm wondering who's going to be on what. I don't know if Cardbox is known for that Zentaro midfield. The only Zentaro midfield I could ever really think about, two actually now. I think one is Borg, and then the other one is way back in like season 2 or like the first season of NASA, which was Cows on the Zentaro midfield for PLX. But
the voice is one.
Okay, I see what NXD was talking about now. It looks like we do have a Juliette goalie here on the day. That's going to be Juliette goalie locked in by Soren with Powerhouse, Pauldrons, and Catalyst. I believe this is a NASL first in a must-win series for EKC. Soren has now done this pick infamously, a quite literally like a joke pick, a pick you take when you think you are way better than the enemy team. So as someone who's going to be running the post show, I'm very interested as to what Soren has to say about this, as already we see both goalie locks open. A slow roller is going to be the one taking that. NXCD, the Era energy emo into death combo means it's going to be an easy goal here for Lob City, and it looks like the Juliette goalie experiment has officially started.
It is nothing if not disturbing. But as for the more normal sides of this game, we see an interesting pickup of the Vam Braces on the Zentaro here with this 6 Catalyst lobby. That's going to let them preserve that energy to go for more offensive plays and potentially damage KOs as well. But that said, we see Kiliast on the Siphoning Wand device. I think that's going to go quite well with the damage the team already has. But the one that's damaged is Leon here, as they are dead and out, but so are the enemy barriers. And with 2 core flips available, now Cardbox and NXED have to make this power play come to life before that player comes back and before NXED dies.
Yeah, and we saw there Soren able to use his 18-second cooldown to get a pass over to his ally, but unfortunately NXED, not long for this world, now finds himself sitting in the penalty box at 2v2 in this situation. Aylalira and Leon. Ooh, a good pendulum swing from Aylalira to save that while still playing offensively, but the power play is now over. The flip dash comes out from Soren, able to snipe away that last barrier. The Supernova is here to get the core downfield. Leon, though, not going to find the scoring opportunity that he would like to see. The Cyber Swipe now gets the core upfield. Pass goes to Leon, but nothing found so far. NXCD making a nice little shot there, but it's going to be the glitch pop that takes away the goal here for EKC. Now 1-1, a dead even game here on set 1.
Hardbox, we mentioned it earlier, making great use of those glitch pops. We saw them take the first barrier with it, and now with that point, they put themselves back into that 1-1, like you said, and they preserved their flip in the process, so that's a lot of resources that they have left to their name. But that said, Kiliast looking quite low yet again. It seems like they've been getting targeted quite a bit the last few games, but they're managing to heal themselves up. But Juliette, not exactly a character who has the strongest defense. You've got that dash punch, much in the way you would score a goal. You can also save one by pushing them and the core out of the way. But once you use that, you're up the river without a paddle, and now this net is open.
Yeah, and Leon, a lot of tools here on this Kazan to win those interactions, but right now it's going to be Aylalira marching the core outfield. Leon with an opportunity to score, not going to find it, though, as the Chain Lightning does keep the offensive play going by getting it out of an XCD's hands, but it is eventually going to be deposited here into the back of the net. Kiliast not able to win that strike, where Aylalira not able to win it as well. Dash comes out, the punch comes out, the flip comes out, goes right to NXCD, not going to find the scoring opportunity there with the Oni's Blade. Kiliast now able to get the core upfield, blocking out a clear route with the Supernova. Leon now with the flip and a dash. It's going to be enough to score that goal. The pass from Cardbox to Soren going to be intercepted. Now Lob City is going to find themselves up 2-1 here on set number 1.
Great strike and a pop-up there to score that point. But let's take a look at the energy for a second. Soren with next to none. Cardbox has yet another flip, and then NXZD working on one of their own. But Aylalira is about to have one for the defense, but the rest of the red side is looking quite low on energy and starting to look low on health. But Cardbox is going to have to find a way to stay alive here. Leon trying to find some answers to get onto this barrier with that dash into the hook, but just not quite able to find it. But we are able to find a kill here onto the Vice. Good looks by NXZD, but it looks like Cardbox or Soren might be next. I mean, you have pauldrons if you're Soren, but if they keep putting out damage like that, you might not be able to live regardless. We'll have to see how they adjust to that. But that said, Leon, even though they have an evade in their kit and the evade button with all that energy from Catalyst, they're still taking a ton of damage. That just goes to show how closed this match can be on this map, when there's just so many things you have to get through as a forward and so few resources when you're just one character.
Yeah. Right now, Soren, not too many resources out right now, but it's going to be NXZD, the one to bail his goalie out of that situation. 2 core flips now defended for the side of EKC. Things are looking really, really good right now, but Kiliast is going to end the comeback before it even begins, stealing away the goal after almost a potentially disastrous offensive play for the side of Lob. Able to finish out the set. Now Lob City's going to find themselves on the board. Leon getting the MVP for that set.
And as we get into this draft, we see Quick Strikes is available, but at the same time, there's a heavy impact that could be going to the Juliette, or apparently the Imi here, as we see the Primetime picked up by Kazan. A good awakening for them, getting those extra hooks and the top spins. It's going to be the Quick Strike that ends up going to the Juliette here. But Stinger and Rapid Fire, that is both a lot of damage on the Vice, a lot of damage on the Rasmus, and also the clear potential with the extra pendulum swings. But we see Team Player as the 6th pickup here for NXZD. Now, if there was a forward that would want to take team player, my guess would be a Kazan, but here we see it on the Zentaro. We'll have to see how they make use of that. I'm curious to see how that interacts with the passive that overwrites their strike with that projectile, but the net is open here for Lob City. Perhaps there's actually some truth behind these picks.
Yeah, and right now, unfortunately, truth of the matter is that it's going to be a power play here for Lob City. Kilius now trying to get possession of the ball. NXCD not able to stop the offensive play, but is able to win a strike war, and those are the type of goals you hate to see. Just a little bit of a sound wave play, getting a slow roller goal in, and that's got to be a bit crushing if you are Lob City. But it's not totally doomed for them. They still have a little bit of an energy advantage here, and if they keep that up, and if NXCD bites the bullet here, things are still going to be looking good for them here in the set.
Mistakes, accidents, they definitely happen on the core strike field. And when you're against a pick like Juliette goalie, perhaps you get a few more than you were expecting. But with how low Leon is here, they're not going to get to make any mistakes if they want to keep that core flip, and they don't get to keep it. But they do keep their life as 2 flips come out to score this point. That's a lot of energy down. You build up a lot of energy in these rounds with that catalyst, but losing both is a bit tough here. Especially with how much damage a character like Vice, if you can't avoid that secondary or the ultimate can do, they're really going to have to play their lives here. But some good positioning by Cardbox is going to avoid a good bit of the damage from that primary, but they're still so low and looking like they're on their way out. Even just trying to get a single orb is a Sisyphean task for them as they go down, and now it is once again a power play for Lob City. We'll have to see what they make of it.
Yeah, flip comes out here from Soren, but it's not going to be enough to defend that barrier, but we'll see if it ends up being a double. It is a double for Lob City. The flip comes out from Leon, but it's going to be knocked away before it's the opportunity to send it into the enemy net. Now Kilius trying to win the strike war, but it's going to be Aylalira finding the clear at the end of the day. Now Glitch Pop not finding anything just quite yet. Thunderstruck is going to be there, and Leon with a hit stun against Soren is going to allow the core to roll right past them. Lob City finally on the board this set, but they've got a long way to go before they take it. The energy game is looking even right now, so it's not terrible, but they're definitely not out of the woods yet.
I think one thing you need to see here, if you're the side of EKC with this Juliette pick, is you need to keep the core on the enemy half so that Soren could walk up, use that powerhouse pauldron, the extra power, to try to fish for these dash punch KOs when the enemies are trying to go for the offense. But Leon, once again, quite low here. The life of a brawler, I suppose. That said, a lot of resources getting burned here, but Leon still managing to find impact even at 1 HP, as now Soren goes down.
Yeah, that's a double power play here, and notably a flip gone from the goalie. They've reset the entirety energy bars here. Cardbox, the only survivor of the point, and that means that things are actually incredibly winnable here. Only a minor energy advantage. If they get past the core flip of Cardbox here in this point, it's going to look really, really good for them. Leon just needs to survive the oncoming damage, which notably is an easier said task than done, as he is going to be in the penalty box for a little bit. So is an uphill battle yet again for Lob City, but definitely not unwinnable as the core is currently deposited. The strike core win from NXCD, though, is going to mean that potentially Barry is going to be taken here. But no, it's going to be saved here by Aylalira. The flip comes out from Cardbox, going to be whiffed. It's still yet again saved. Aylalira, unfortunately, they're forced to burn flips. Soren not able to save 1 goalie barrier, but can he save 2? The dash is going to be there. The core flip doesn't find the KO. Good evade from Leon. Keeps him in play. Now Aylalira, the pull comes up. The glitch pop is there to defend the final barrier, but it's going to be taken by Aylalira here on the aggressive play. Kilius now going back to his GOATS esports days, playing a little bit of goalie, enough so that now it is an open net here for EKC. Aylalira trying to get the core down to Kilius, loses 1 goalie barrier in the process, and now it's going to be Leon gone, done and dusted. Aylalira trying to find any play here, but it's going to be cleared away. NXCD now getting the final barrier. Kilius uses the chain lightning to find anything. The flip not going to find the goal that Cardbox wanted. No goal found from NXCD either, and now it's up to this Juliette goalie on the open net to defend. Kilius has flip. If it gets to it, maybe curtains for EKC's set chances. The flip still there for Kilius, but the damage potentially might threaten that out. Now the flip is finally here. It goes up to Leon. The flip from Soren's going to be there. Not going to go to Aylalira's goal, but now Cardbox and NXCD looking to find it. The flip is going to be intercepted by Cardbox now. The cyber or the turret's going to be put down. Leo Leon finding the clear now. Flip comes up for him. No resources here for Soren, and that's going to be it. The dash not going to be long enough to catch that core. Now 2-0 up for Lob City. Aylalira earning MVP.
I believe that's the second time we've seen that Vice secondary come down and just halt the play, and then you realize, oh, it's Juliette in the net in a 1v1. That's not the position you want to be in, and just not having the range. So we'll have to see what the pickup is here. And normally you would think, oh, Juliette on this map, you have to deny the 1-2 punch. Well, it's the goalie, so you don't really need to here. You can potentially leave that.
I'm not entirely sure about this glass cannon pick when 1-2 punch was there. I also think Dendar might have been taken away. Oh, wait, maybe it's my audio. I'm not entirely sure, but... Okay, yeah, so it looks like...
I'm right here, hello?
Oh, Dendar might be back. He might not be the one KO'd, but... Speaking of KOs, NXCD is going to be the one taken out here. One goalie barrier is going to go down for Lob City, but they get a 3v1 power play in return. The dash from Soren is actually going to snipe away a reverse power play here, but the flip... It's going to even up the score, and the flip is going to be denied by Kiliest. A quick first point here, 30 seconds in, 2 flips down for the side of Lob City, but they're going to find it, and they're going to be 2 points away from taking this game.
Down 0-2 in sets, down 0-1 in the current round. It's definitely a tough battle here, but with the Awakenings picked up, perhaps it's going to give them an extra chance, but instead all that's going to happen is NXZD is going to die here, as you have to work so much harder on the defense, but when you just have someone like Leon finding every angle they need to score the points that they do, this is looking like we're going to be going to the next game quite soon, unless something really drastically changes here, and I don't know what that something could be at this point, but we'll have to see.
Oh, that something might have to be Juliette goalie, unfortunately, as right now Leo Leon's going to be the one actually taking a lot of stagger. NXCD not able to find the kill, and right now the flip from Aylalira unfortunately is going to whiff. That's going to cost her 2 goalie barriers, unfortunately, as the sound waves are now up. Kilius trying to get some damage down to Soren, is able to do that, but probably going to wait until the core flip is done. Aylalira not able to get the save. Thinks that NXCD is going to shoot down, but unfortunately the no mix-up strikes yet again, and EKC find themselves on the board here in a crucial set.
Yep, down but not out, but I think one thing we might even need to see here to clinch up this game is maybe have Soren take on almost like a midfield Juliette role on their half, using those pauldrons to look for KO punches, and then going on the offense to be another forward, and just hoping that Cardbox or maybe NXZD can hold it down in the net when time comes. But that said, the net is wide open for Lob City here. Perhaps they have found a new answer around these players, especially with the picks that they have. But that said, their net is now open. Leon's on the hunt. Can he make it happen? Good save by Cardbox. It's a little bit of back and forth here, but eventually with a Juliette goalie, something's going to crack.
Yeah, and Cardbox has this flip here, the saving grace of EKC, as he does end up using it to clear Aylalira now, trying to get it cleared, but NXCD is going to win the interaction here. Has an opportunity to score, but the hook is there to clear Aylalira. Good prediction here on what play was about to go down. Kilius pass up to Leo Leon. It does get there. The flip is there, but no! NXCD snipes away with his Zentaro passive. Kilius and Aylalira not ready for that, and unfortunately that's going to be a slow roll goal, and once again we find ourselves here 1 point away from both teams taking the set. Dendar, I think we've been here before.
We've been here before many a time, but that said, there is chaos brewing in the net as so many abilities just came out, but only one barrier was taken. It's actually 2 of Lob Cities that go down here, as if EKC can truly mount this comeback, that would be quite telling of the matchup. But that said, NXZD has scored the point with that flip. If this comeback happens, I really truly just would have no words.
Yeah, hey, all good. Lock in, Lob City. You've got a battle ahead of you. The explosive entrance now down for NXCD. The 25% damage boost on all abilities for Zentaro is now here on top of the Dash Awakening. So right now, there is a few picks that Leo Leon does elect on the side. It's going to be very, very useful in the Kazan into Juliette matchup. As right now the bulk up also going to Killiest. I think Stagger going to be incredibly good as all members of Lob City are now just outright tankier. Definitely counteracting, and with no siphoning wand on the side of EKC, it actually might be the case where Lob City just outright win the stagger battle in a lot of situations. So we'll see if that ends up being the case, though. One goalie barrier going to be down for both teams now. The Chain Lightning keeping the core in play for Lob City. No KO found by the top spin of Leo Leon. And look at that, already the big fish coming into play, saving his life a little bit more. I guess it burned a core flip. NXCD now looking to get the offensive play. Soren here playing Juliette forward. Probably the intended, designed Odyssey Interactive approved position of Juliette here, but it's going to be cleared away by Killiest here. Now the Chain Lightning coming into play. Leo Leon not able to swipe away that final goal barrier. Now Cardbox with the flip can elect to use it should he deem it appropriate. Now the flip going to be denied away from NXCD, but it's going to be eventually core flipped away, and Aylalira not able to save it, does not have the cooldowns, does not have the resources. EKC able to snipe away that point. 1-0 EKC.
I want to talk about something. I need this Soren fella to go into chat and press Control-V so we can see if the PayPal link is the last thing cut and pasted. Because I don't know what's going on with that Monumentalist pickup there when there were other options.
Wait a second.
I don't know if you didn't catch that or you're just trying to hide the facts, but I think we might have some PayPal allegations here.
Wait, what?
We have an open net for Lob City on a more serious note, and Cardbox looking a little dead here. Leo Leon might be on the way out soon, but that said, I don't really know what's going on with these drafts, but I know that these players are at least trying their hearts out, other than perhaps the one picking Monumentalist, Julie.
Soren, what the fuck, dude? I have no words. I have no words for that. EKC is mounting the comeback right now. What did he pass up? I'm sure he passed up something. He probably passed up like a, I don't know, anything.
Peak performance, I think, was another option on the table.
That's impressive.
It is what it is. Even something like the Chrono Boost pickup, I would have been down for just to get the extra length on those dashes where they needed it. But right now, we might need an investigation. But until then, we've got Killiest with a flip looking to take this barrier, manages to find it. That's energy burned. Leo Leon on the hunt. Brickbet, it's looking close.
It is looking close as right now. Soren does have a flip to work with defensively. Probably the only defensive tool that Julia has in this situation. Cardbox and NX with flips of their own very, very soon. But that might not mean anything if Leo Leon is able to put it in. Now NXCD getting his Catalyst off with a Supernova hit, getting his flip off the Supernova hit, and that's going to be a goalie barrier down and an open net for Lob City. The pull comes out before the flip comes into play. Now Cardbox using that core speed to score the goal. A little bit of the no mix-up happening yet again, and that's going to be a set taken away for EKC NXCD with another MVP coming in this draft.
Brickbet, somebody open up the Book of Revelation because this is a disaster. This is just a disaster. NXCD gets explosive entrance and now perfect form. How has this allowed to be happening? But there's hope, I suppose, with Aylalira getting this hot shot, but the Dais is going to be quite a bit more damage. Some stagger picked up here. The size of Might of the Colossus is going to be nice with those pauldrons, but we'll have to see what the Zon pick is here. It's going to be the Orb Dancer. Not a terribly huge fan of orbs on this map personally, as the two in the goalie net are just so far out of the play, and the one in the Speed Wave is just not really where you want to be most of the time. So I don't know. This draft looks quite EKC favored with that perfect form pickup, but I just don't think this game should have gotten this far in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, Lob City was literally 1 point away from taking away the game. This is, I mean, it's still winnable, guys. Lock in. Comp doesn't matter, I think, because right now it is an offensive play here. NXCD forced to blow his flip defensively, but he's able to get a goalie barrier for his trouble. Not able to get two, though. Aylalira is going to be ready for that. Leo Leon and Killiest here assisting Aylalira on the clear. Flip there is there for Killiest should the core get to him, but it might not be needed. Leo Leon, unfortunately, not able to get the goal. Killiest, unfortunately, also whiffing his flip, which means that things are now looking very, very bad for Lob City on at this point. 3 whiff flips now for the side of Lob City. Supernova is going to be there. Soren with a flip of his own. No energy for the side of anyone right now. Is Cardbox the only one with any modicum of dodge now? NXCD trying to find the score of his own, not going to be found, and a demon angle almost takes it away. But Soren's going to be ready for that. The glitch pop, not enough to clear it. Leo Leon has the opportunity yet again. Cardbox again, trying to get it cleared, but the core speed from Leo Leon's going to be enough. The 1-2 punch mattering, and Soren and Cardbox not able to react in that situation. Lob City find themselves one up here on this final set.
Finding a good angle to get between the two defenders there, something that I feel like we see more often where we have the two defenders in the net, but the core manages to find its way through them, just as Ivy here has found their way into the blast zone. Going to be a power play for Lob City here, but Soren holding it down somehow on this Juliette. But that said, they do lose one barrier, and Cardbox is back, so that's going to be potentially a way to reverse this around, but hopefully Lob City can just take 2 more points before disaster strikes. We'll just have to see if they're able to. And yet another power play comes out. This time the Zentaro going down. NXZD taking a small break. Soren's going to have to find a way to defend and manages to do so. Actually playing their heart out on this pick that is a bit unconventional.
Yeah, a bit unconventional is the way to describe it, as right now it is an open net. Juliette goalie's likely a weak point, as Leo Leon definitely taking advantage of that. Finds Lob City up 2-0. There is energy and hope here on the side of EKC, but Aylalira about to get a flip of her own here. If she's able to hold it down for just a little bit longer, like you said earlier, that Juliette goalie is going to eventually crack, and those 2 earlier KOs from Lob City in which they took out 2 core flips is really coming out here now. An open net for Lob City, but they find themselves in a reverse power play. The flip comes out from Aylalira, not enough to save it, and this might be disastrous. NXCD not able to find the goal, but he's able to get it eventually with the primary. The power play now going into the favor of EKC. They find themselves getting that point, and now Lob City once again find themselves in a familiar situation. Up in point count, but it's not secure until it's in.
If we see yet another 0.5, we will truly be able to say that we have been here before. That said, the net's almost open for Lob City, so it is potentially their NXZD opening it up. The brawler who surely gets it done. We've said it a couple times today, but I mean, they just show every single time that they just manage to score no matter what the case, if given the opportunity. One thing I'm concerned about here is they do have this passive available. If the kickoff's on their side, that's going to be a lot less control that they have on this kickoff. But thankfully, it is on the side of the midfielder, which is going to allow NXZD to really get into the play and find a way to make something happen, as we are on this 0.5, where with that flip burned, NXZD might be taking a bit of a nap.
Yeah, right now it's going to be Soren, unfortunately, finding that final thing. The flip comes out. Can he make it through? No, it's going to be defended away by Leo Leon and Achilles. A flip here for Leo Leon does come out, though. Not able to get one goalie barrier. His card box is there to cover for Soren's aggression. Now things looking good for EKC right now. The Supernova able to grab one. The flip from Kilius potentially able to grab another. No! As it's going to be NXCD sinking it in. Leo Leon unfortunately not there to participate. EKC complete the reverse sweep. And Juliette's debut in the North American Strikers League as a goalie is a victory. Soren able to win, but NXCD earning definitely a well-earned MVP that game.
We just got to break.
Yeah.
I have no words for what has happened. This is just a disaster. NXCD playing quite well. Cardbox playing well. Soren, I have many a word for you, but I will stay positive in my words today.
Hey,
as this game is not over. But
Let's redux the game, actually.
Honestly, how?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, yeah, you know what? Hey, Soren, good work, man. Hey, excellent work there in the box. NXCD pumping out a 9+2, definitely no slouch. More redirects on the midfielder as well. Leo Leon with a 7+1, respectable in its own right, but unfortunately it is going to be EKC winning that I believe set 5.5 here against Lob City, and they're going to take it. They're going to take it on the Demon Dais, and they're going to be the ones taking the series. Unfortunately, Lob City not able to play spoiler this week, though they've got one more opportunity in the next week. Definitely close. Definitely a closer game than game one, but hey, Soren wanted to bust out an interesting pick. Unfortunately, the Voices won, but the Voices were victorious here. And you know what? If I saw that goal stat or that stat line on like any other character, I wouldn't bat an eye. But hey, good job, Soren. You brought it home.